YouTube, we're back at it again with the Meta Weekly every single week, and we're starting off with the man. The man is up against Dracotail. A lot of people are concerned that the meta is turning into just floodgating out your opponent or playing Dracotail. Which side are you on? Are you with the man? Are you with the tails? Let's begin. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
And watch as long as you can. That greatly supports the events, even if you have us on in the background. Let's see what Dracotail could do. In response, we could Retaliating Sea, ensuring that any card sent to the grave is banished instead. No trigger effects for thee. So we're going to summon a Gulamel and then end our turn. Whale. Ash is still activatable. The Urgula is dead. I mean, damn. Looks like we won with Retaliating Sea. Quite the play. We have Barrel with the man. Now with the Barrel man deck, a lot of people, the ratios are, they're only playing one man. One man, three barrel. Is it a barrel deck or a man deck? Super Poly, banishing away the discard, fuse up with either field into Secretarion. Very good card to be playing. If you want to play Super Poly into any deck whatsoever, it's going to be a Spellcaster plus Dragon, which their end field for Dracotail will normally be a Spellcaster and a Dragon to fuse with. As they have Albaz, banish away our discarded card. Song of the Dominate is going to negate. Retaliating Sea won the entire duel. Straight up. Yes, I think so. Let's go. While we don't have Retaliating Sea, we have Max Sea. And I would argue that Dracotail is great against Max Sea, great against Fualos, great against Nibiru, great against Droll. Those are four big reasons to want to play Dracotail. Let's send to the back row our Flame plus another card. This is not a deck that you would even want to Droll yourself to continue to make plays. You just make one Fusion Summon, you're good, you're done, back to you. Now, we have the ability to pop a card, banish from the grave, negate a spell, return a monster back, Fusion Summon, Disrupt, and if we want to count the Malulu, which will be another Disrupt to negate, about 6 Disruption. Urgula, popping a back row card against a back row deck, maybe we'll count this as 7. We're going to Imperm right away onto the Malulu within the draw phase, which we didn't even need its Fusion Summon. We could just use the Femina. Pot of E, randomly draw to me. Nothing, as the Flame negates. Now, from here, we do have a way to gain access to the man or the barrel. What do we want to do? Sting is going to ensure that the Gulamel can directly chain to the Sting to pop away the field spell. No man search for you. And we have the choice of, do we want to bait out the man or the Primite? I guess we prioritize the Primite. Primite is better here, as the Ash is going to negate. No man, no barrel, nothing. And the Apophis Swamp Deity is dead. It's trash, it's garbage, it will negate nothing, it will do nothing. Game 3. Damn, Maxi against Dracotail ain't so good. Lordy, load it up. We're going to Ash negate, and what we're left with is a dead Swamp Deity. Again, this is always freaking dead. Now, what's not dead is the Song of the Dominators in Purge. So what we want to ensure is that if we have a trap in the graveyard, we can add another Dominus card, which would give us at least 3 Disruption. So now we just have 2. We're going to Dominate, negate the Malulu mate. Now, when Malulu is negated, that's great because you could just use its effect during the opponent's turn. Let's fuse it up. So that's why Malulu is better against Disruption than normal summoning the Lucia. Let's set up our Flame as we now have the untargetable Sanctifier Dragon. Ready to Malulu fuse during the opponent's turn. We could fuse with the... we need another card to fuse with. We'll draw one with one of the traps, I'm sure. Man is here. We're going to Malulu, fuse it up here. We could fuse with the Malulu and the Femina, actually. As long as we don't activate the Femina, this is fine. As we're going to negate the man. Oh, no, we will not. Correction, we're not. We can't negate the direct chain link, only if the effect is resulting in a new chain that we could then negate, since we'll be the higher chain link. Femina and Malulu set it up. Malulu with no negate. All right. We negated you, which we're not really negating anything. We're now going to Horn, return the man back, at least attempt to do so, as the Swamp Deity is going to chain in response to the Horn, which is doing what? It's not negating because we need another continuous trap to even be able to negate. Sure. Let's set up an Apophis Serpent for the deck. We're going to sting the graveyard to directly chain with the Ghoul-Mel. We're going to chain link block with the Purge. Block the Ghoul-Mel from being able to pop a card in the field. No. Negates. What the heck? I don't remember that animation. Was that the previous duel? Let's flame, negate the Temple of the Kings, directly chain the Ghoul-Mel to wipe away the back row Apophis Serpent. Wipe it. And negate it. Now with our man already being normal summoned, what the heck plays do we have? We have load, summoning from the deck, a Labradite Dragon. We're going to use the effect of Albion Sanctifier to reborn the Albaz, giving them an Ash, fuse with the Albaz, discard a card. With your Labradite, we now go into a Lubellion Searing Dragon. Lubellion on summon, discard a card, fuse up with the graveyard into the Chaos Star Source Dragon. On summon, wipe away 2 cards on field as we go into plan L. Typhon is here. It's a battle big enough to take out the Ghoul-Mel. We can non-target, return back something if we want to. Well, the man tried. The man has fallen as the Sanctifier wipes out the Typhon to the face, lethal damage. Start this off with a normal summon Malulu, activate Brain Infusion. In response, we get the Fua Lost Mates, chain the Ash Blossom 2, negate. Not today. Now, Malulu requires a fusion summon with a Dracotail plus a monster in the hand. We have the untargetable Albion Sanctifier, which will not be hit by the Imperm nor Veiler, as we set up a Key 2 Dracotail into our back row. Let's Key 2 Dracotail, searching our deck for a Femina. Sword Saint, what are you talking about? Let's Malulu fuse it up, mate, into our Arthalion. This is 1 card from the hand. We're going to target 1 card engraved to return back the Ash Blossom. Do we want to allow them to add that back, or do we negate? We do not want to allow it. Let's negate. No reuse of the Ash Mate. A lot of people on Reddit are crying that Arthalion can recycle back Max C. Is that really that relevant? Is it actually happening a lot? I don't really think that's that prevalent. What duels are going beyond the first 2 turns? The most relevant hand trap you're recycling back is an Ash Blossom after negating their Max C, negating their Fulos, then add back the Ash. Let's Urgula set up into the back row. Dracotail, Sting. Yeah, Holy Royal. We got Royal Sanctifier, Royal Arthalion. Is this a scoop or what? We have a White Rabbit play, which if it gets disrupted, we could try to link it off and then go into a backup Ignister, which could maybe be a good play, but against what? We're dealing with the ability to reborn Albaz and fuse with our field. That's a double disruption. Ghoul-Mel, pop a card, banish from the grave, return a monster back. We could also flame, negate a spell, and we could use the Femina with another monster in hand to fuse up into another disrupt. About 7 disruption. We do have to draw into another card, and one of the cards have to be negatable at the flame. So a lot of cards are potentially not even a disruption as we use Imperm to negate Ghoul-Mel. As we back up Ignister, grab a March Hare to banish away the White Rabbit here. Well done. We're now going to Lingaribo pin down the Horn. Now, one of the best ways to deal with the Lingaribo, if you're Dracotail, is to use the Sting. Maybe even set Sting over the Flame. So you could Sting, chain Ghoul-Mel, but Ghoul-Mel is negated, so we now need another way, and that other way is going to be the Sanctifier Dragon. Let's reborn the Albaz. Albaz on summon is going to be discarding away the Femina, fuse up with Lingaribo. And we now lost our ability to go into an Arthalion. Non-target banish is ready. As we banish White Rabbits, come forth back onto the field to activate and set into the back row. We're going to use Horn to... Oh my gosh, like you denied me from adding back my Ash, but I gave you Ash so I could Horn it back to my hand. What? That's crazy. Oh my gosh. That is so insane. I've not seen anyone do that yet. That's a first. Okay, good one. That's game 1, right? Yeah, that was game 1. Was this a 2-0 or this is over? What? Normal Fua into the backup Ignister play. We did Maxi in response to a normal summon Fua. Ain't no way. We're going to chain Maxi now for that guaranteed draw. What happened? I thought Maliss was supposed to beat Dracotail, and I mean, we're under the effect of Max C. To be fair here, wow, that was bad. We have Bell and our own Max C. Are you ready? Key to Dracotail, chain Max C, because this could result in a fusion summon, which we don't have to fuse. We could just add and not fuse. We're still fusing, of course, as we now go into our Thalion to return 2 cards in the field and our grave back to the hand. Recycle back the Max C. There you go. Reddit was very much upset about this play, saying that Max C has to get banned if they have the ability to return it back. Goodbye to the backup Ignister through the effect of the Pan. Will this Max C even make a difference, though? Like, let's really analyze if we're going to win because of an added back Max C. It seems win more to me. I really don't see our Thalion adding back Max C being the reason why anyone's going to win a duel that they're already winning. Set the Rahu Dracotail, banish in the grave, come forth into Mysterion. Ooh. The monster activates to summon itself, so when a Cyburst that's banished activates to summon itself back on the field, you then banish that Cyburst and all other Cyburst monsters on the field. That's pretty good against Maliss, is it not? Damn. If March Hare activates to summon itself on the field, you could then banish it, or whatever it banishes, you then target that card, which will then banish the March Hare plus that card. Huh. Definitely something. 2-0. How do we win the mirror match? Well, we have Magitsustail versus what I assume to be... What? What? Wait, what? This is Dracotail Fiendsmith. Huh? No one's playing Fiendsmith with their Dracotail, are they? Well, Chugi is. Dracotail Fiendsmith versus Magitsustail. This is definitely interesting. Ash negate the Rahu. Now, the Crowley already being in the hand looks like it's bad. Yes, it is a brick, but it's a combo piece brick. It being a combo piece while in the hand, meaning that we're going to use it to summon an Arthalion. Arthalion will add it back to the hand, and then it will trigger special summon, and then it will go into Zerora to give you a monster negate. Well, unfortunately, we do not have that mate since we had 2 Rahus, one got negated by the effect, thus the other one is no good. Well, we are in big trouble. Flame has to draw into a Femina. And if we Ash the Flame, then it's game 2 we go. All right, let's speed this up. Good one. Now what? Finish him. Yes, for sure. Lucius add from the deck. Let's activate Femina to fuse. A lot of people early on in the TCG were main decking Cartesia. There's not a lot of Cartesia being used in Dracotail today in Master Duel. Cartesia, you know, mostly because it's a normal summon that competes with your other normal summons. Ideally, there's an Albaz in the field and in the graveyard, so you could special summon this. And then it's essentially a Malulu, where it's just another way to fusion summon it up. Not so bad here. Now, in response, we got Max freaking C. Well, we have a double trigger. It's fine. We set up the Flame, we set the Horn. We have Max C, Baylor, Horn, Flame. We're in a decent spot here. Let's trigger all the effects. Add back 2 cards in grave. Now, the Mad Lad drew into a freaking Valor, right? Did he already have Valor? He did not. Right off the top of Valor, stopping him from adding back 2 cards in grave. That is insane. And the Malulu and Pan were going to be great forms of disruption during the opponent's turn, so that Valor has already possibly stolen the duel. Double Urgula, only one of them will be activatable. We're going to Max C on our own turn. Go for that draw 1, hopefully drawing in something good. Gula Mel is here. Oh my Jesus. We're going to lose both of our back row cards. We lose the Flame, we lose the Key 2. Ooh, Silver, you're getting messed up. And it's not your fault. I mean, I don't know. Chugio's just really freaking good. What's going on? We do have Ash for Kitu or Rahu, but they have a finger. Oh, how is Chugio always one step ahead? It's so good that we have both. We don't even need to use our finger. I'm not going to finger your Ash. I'll save it for something else. Not needed. Gulamel directly chaining to the Urgula, adding back the Femina, which will then follow up with the Rahu Dracotail, which we have the Call by the Grave saved for the Valor if needed. Now, this effect rarely ever happens. If your fusion is destroyed by an opponent's card, we get to reborn back the Malulu. Malulu could fuse with the Valor. That's exactly what we're going to do. Malulu will be the higher chain link to the Arthalion to negate it. Non-turn player, trigger effect, higher chain, negate whatever's below it. So you would not even want to activate Arthalion, but we do so anyway. Femina is going to trigger to add back. Pan's going to destroy the Arthalion on fields. Arthalion's going to add back Malulu. Malulu is also going to try to negate. Now, I say it's not even worth activating, but we do have a finger. And we'll finger the Malulu. That you're not only activating to negate a monster, you're also activating your Arthalion to add back to the hand. No add back, no negate, no set for the follow-up. We do get to reborn our own Arthalion to potentially protect us from lethal damage here. Pan is going to set and non-target destroy a monster. Femina is going to set up the flame, further wiping away any hope or dream to have a chance on our follow-up. Off the top of the deck, we have Zorora. Now, this should be good, but we drew into a monster. So if this were a spell and trap, the Femina would not be activatable. You have to fuse with another monster in hand, and then we would have seen the true power of Zorora. But now it's no good. So Magistus wasn't so good, and Chugi did not even reveal that he's playing Fiendsmith. All the Fiendsmith plays in the extra deck were untouched. 2-0. Now, at the top, Mobile X, standard branded Dracotail. At the bottom, standard branded Dracotail, but there could be non-standard cards in the main deck. We have Magnum Hut here, which not everyone is on, I believe. Let's Femina activate Diffuse into Arthalion. And we don't have to guess, we could just check. Magnum Hut is at 58% usage, so actually the majority are on Magnum Hut. It's pretty much a coin flip on whether they'll be on it or not. Let's see what's good. Unfortunately, the Magnum Hut can't search for a Femina in the end phase. Let's link off into the Anaconda, similar to if you were to make your Fiendsmith plays. This would be your Moon in the Closed Heaven. Link off into Requiem, make all those plays, and then Rahu Dracotail after everything is said and done. So every time you see Anaconda, just think it's a moon. Now, let's Branded Fusion into the Albion Sanctifier, which will use the Albaz to fuse with their field and into also being another form of disruption. We also have the Ghoul, pop a card in the field. We could Sting, banish the graveyard. We could Horn, return a monster back. We could Flame negate a spell. We could also use the Femina to go into Arthalion. We could also Malulu, which could negate a monster on the field. We could Pan, destroy a monster on the field. We could Urgula, pop a back row, set Kitu or Rahu, which we could see from this hand is not going to be needed. So we had about 10 disruption. It's going to be effectively about 9. In response, we're going to use our Femina. Chain the Gulamel. Now, this is where we want to know ruling. Does Malulu have to be part of the fusion? Do we stop the fusion by popping Malulu? Let's read it. You fusion summon a Dracotail using monsters from your hand or field. It is not required for the fusion summon, so this does not stop it. Take it out, and then we're going to go into the Secretarion. Special summon dragons and spellcasters will not be good. As we now go into our Arthalion, which will not be activatable on the field, but engrave. Our own Malulu will be able to negate the Secretarion if we want to. Lucius triggering. Pan is going to be destroying. Wipe it out. What do we Malulu negate? We can negate the Sanctifier or the Secretarion. Oh my gosh. Mobile X has so much card advantage right now. We're going to set up the Horn and negate the Secretarion. No longer are we floodgated. Wipe away the flame, so we lost the flame. Key to add the Lucius. We passed on the resolution to fuse. We're going to Rahu, now fuse with the Lucius and the Pan from the deck. Come forth into Gulamel, Lucius, and Pan. We're going to destroy a monster, and we could directly chain the Gulamel to it, unless they chain link block. They did. Chain link block, they did. Indeed, we're going to take their own Malulu to use it against them to fusion summon with the Malulu. What the? Your Malulu is mine. Okay. Well, I'm going to destroy the Malulu that you stole from me. Not cool. To battle we go. Horn is going to return the Gulamel, which cannot directly change the opponent's Dracotail cards. It has to be your own Dracotail. Oh boy, we have our Flame, Sting, Horn. That's about it. Flame, Sting, Horn. It's not gonna be good enough. Little Knight, banish away the Flame. We're gonna use the Sting. Sting the card in graveyard, so I think in a way this could be bait. If they activate the Little Knight again, we could then chain Horn to it to return it back possibly. There's gonna Ash negate the Sting. Not that even horning a Little Knight would be that great of a play. It's not like we're negating the other effect of banishing away our monster. We're just in a really bad spot. Mobile X was able to set up really good efficient plays, making sure to make use of the Anaconda going into the Sanctifier. Key to add the Lucius. A lot of people I read early on, they said Anaconda wasn't going to be good, that it's so much better to play the Hieratic Seal. Hieratic Seal plays better around Nibiru. Bro, like Nibiru's already not good against this deck, so people are not playing Nibiru, thus then Anaconda becomes the better play because people are not playing Nibiru. Let's hop into game 2. Wow. Okay. So the Flame has to draw into a Dracotail for this to be a good play. And there's a chance. Let's see what happens. Oh, sweet. There's a Cartesia. I'm going to fuse with it. Discard the Foolash, chain Max C. We do have Ash, which now we can't Ash the Flame. The Flame is now protected to draw into something good after negating the Rahu. With your Cartesia, I'm going to make my own Sanctifier, untargetable. Rahu, flame it up, draw a card here. We are not able to Ash it, obviously, so this was good. Maxi eating their Ash. What are we randomly drawing into? Nothing, because Flame doesn't draw. It has to return a card to draw. You can't just put Flame into a non-Dracotail deck to get that additional draw. Now, what are we off the top of the deck? Ooh, good one. Lucius, come to me. Well, you have to not view their hand as hidden information. There are so many actions from the previous turns and how the opponent's playing to extrapolate what's exactly in their hand. Is it a very good guess that they don't have a Dracotail in hand? It's a very good one because they normal summon Cartesia, they didn't do anything. They didn't try to chain Cartesia in response to Albaz, even though that wouldn't be a good idea, but it possibly still would be if they want to trigger a Dracotail. So if this is their only Dracotail in the field, if this searches for a Femina, it's not going to be activatable if we get this off the field. But we're not going to be able to get it off the field because the Femina is a quick effect. They could use it in response to you trying to fuse with the Lucius. But we would at least be able to fuse with whatever their fusion summon is. Femina is here. We could fuse with the Ash and the Lucius. We know, it's pretty much public knowledge if you're smart enough, based off how they're playing, that this would be their only available Dracotail to fuse with. We're going to attempt to add back the Ash, channeling block a potential Ghost spell, not that they have one. Lucius setting up the Kitu, and because they have a monster on field, the Kitu gains that additional benefit. We're going to have to use the Ash again, potentially, or we could just use the Dracotail on field plus the Dracotail we search for. Gulamel holding on to the Ash Blossom here. Urgula is going to set the Rahu Dracotail. Gulamel cannot target the Sanctifier. It is untargetable. Add back the Femina. And let's now Rahu Dracotail it up. Send the Pan. Pan is going to be used to non-target destroy the Sanctifier on field. 3,000 attack. We don't want to swing into that. Let's keep our Arthalion onto the field and have lethal damage. Wow. It was looking like Mobile X should have won this. Insane. We had such a dead turn 1. The Flame wasn't even able to draw a card. Was negating Maxi the mistake? The Flame not being able to negate. Crazy how these duels just swing randomly into either player's favor. Interesting duel. Pretty simple duel too. All right, 1-1. Key to Dracotail. Damn, we Cartesiaing it up. How good is the Cartesia really? I'm not really impressed with her use at the moment. I guess people are saying the ideal use, if you have to normal summon her, it's great that she could add back from the graveyard during the end phase to further be used as fuel during the opponent's turn. We're going to Femina in response to the Maxi. Come forth, Arthalion. Maxi would not be drawing, of course. And what's very interesting is You make your Rahu illegal. Why? How did we make it illegal? By fusing with the entire hand in response to the Max C. The Rahu requires a monster in hand, so very smart play around that. Well done. Urgula and Lucius, we don't give the opponent a single draw. Now, I mentioned making this play in the first week of Dracotail. No one was making it, so I'm happy to see Mobile X making use of countering a Max C. Arthalion, add back as many cards as we want from Engrave. So that small little play, you do want to be learning that against Max C. And holy moly, we're in big trouble. We have all 3 traps for 3 draws. We have the Cartesia activating to fuse it up into a Secretarion Dragon to ensure special summons will not be activatable. We're going to be able to potentially reborn back the Albaz, but we're going to use the Sting to banish it away. Sting, be gone. As we also return our Dracotail back. Now, that's crazy that we are still able to reborn back the Cartesia even though we banished the Albaz. What the heck is up with that ruling? You're going to target a Dragon and Spellcaster, special summon one. If you do, place the other. So we get to choose on resolution which one we want to special summon, and then you'd have to return the other back. If they switch this around, if it was placed to the bottom of the deck, and if you do special summon, then it would have not worked. Very well done. So it's not that we messed up our Sting, we couldn't banish both monsters. Little Knight banishing away the Flame to ensure that the key to Dracotail will go through. Femina in response. The Urgula will be able to pop a set Rahu from the deck, which is probably what we would want to be doing here. More importantly, getting out a Secretarion Dragon to ensure that whatever they summon will be not activatable. Lucius will be searching. Urgula has nothing, no backer to pop. We're not going to fuse on resolution. We're just going to wait. Now, by waiting, Femina can't make a play. So the key to Dracotail was the only way to trigger the Femina. It wasn't even legal, actually. You know, it can get a little confusing randomly because it has to be a Dracotail and then a monster in the hand. So if the Dracotail is the only card that's in the hand, there's no Dracotail in field, then it's an illegal fusion. Wasn't even usable. Set pass. Cartesia add back. And there you go, the power of Cartesia. Someone was talking about that. One of their favorite parts of Cartesia is making a card like Femina now activatable, which it still isn't actually. So it still makes an activatable if the Sting draws into another Dracotail, then the Femina is activatable. It's crazy that Femina is missing 2 combo pieces, which now the Cartesia is one of them, and we're now maybe going to draw into the other one. Banish from the graveyard, return back. Nope, Femina is dead. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's now speed this up. Let's go. Philia Regis, which we rarely see. Quick effect, being able to banish a card in the field. Let's banish away the key to, allowing the Little Knight to banish the Regis. Open field, Phileas. Frixel, that is going to be reborning the Lucius, returning the Frixel back to the hand, as we now fuse into the Arthalion. Arthalion trigger, return back Engrave the Pan and Femina. Trigger Arthalion Engrave to further reborn. 7,800 damage as the Rahu's going for lethal. Femina no good. Femina is how you correctly make a turn 0 hand trap for an archetype. Because the biggest question is, if a turn 0 hand trap that's actually good, what prevents other decks from playing it? Well, the requirement of you need another monster plus another Dracotail for it to even be activatable. Thus, we don't see it all over the place. So you could argue that the K9 implementation was poorly thought out, unless it was intentional to make more money to want K9 to be put in every single deck that could play it. Because I played recently last night against an Art Mage with K9 in it. That was quite insane. And do get ready for the furries to be coming soon. Good job to Mobile X. Let's hop in another match. Branded Fuse in response. We got the Fua loss. May ain't no way. I'm going to chain Malulu to you trying to draw off of me fusion summoning. Well, I'm going to activate another Fua loss. Don't mind if I do. The Fua wars are here. Under double Fua loss, what the heck are we going to do? Arthalion's going to give them 1 draw. The Branded Fusion's going to give them 2 draws. What the heck? Up to 6 cards in their hand. Are they going to draw into a Femina? They have a Magnum Hunt, they have a Veiler. Do they want to Veiler onto Arthalion? Arthalion's targeting 2 freaking cards on fields. I would say that's a good use of the Veiler. Whittle down their resources. Now they're going to -2 just like that, as they're further triggering the Frixel and the Malulu to set up a Flame and Horn. We're going to have the Key 2 Dracotail, which could be searching for a Femina instead. Key 2, Femina, come to me. And now we end our turn. So we prioritize. You could see it clearly. Abelmod believes Femina access is better. Now, what's interesting about Femina being better than Horn in Abelmod's eyes is, can Femina even activate? No, but the Malulu can. Malulu can fuse with Femina. So even if it weren't for having a Femina to use it, it allows Malulu to still make a play, which on the higher chain link will be able to non-target negate a monster the opponent summons off of a fusion summon. Bro, your third Fua? Fua, all 3 in the freaking grave. Unbelievable. Lucius on summon, come to us, our own copy of Femina. And let's now Femina fuse chain Malulu. Malulu must summon a Dracotail. Femina does not have to go into a Dracotail. As we summon our Gulamel. We're the non-turn player. The non-turn player will be the higher chain link of optional triggers, ensuring that we're more likely to activate the Gulamel to pop a card in the field. Now we have on the lower chain link a Malulu to non-target negate something. We don't know what's going to get negated. Will the Gulamel get negated? Will the Sanctifier get negated? We're going to set up a Key 2. As Malulu further sets the Horn, we're going to negate their Arthalion as they set up a Sting. And Malulu is going to choose to negate the Gulamel, allowing Sanctifier to be used. We're going to Flame negate the Rahu. Negate the effect, not the activation. Ensure that we get to draw a card here. Ooh, another Femina, but we need another monster in hand for the Femina to be activatable. Albaz and Veiler. We're going to Magnum Hunt, banish away the Albaz as we chain the Femina to fuse. Now, this is to go into a Dracotail play. Instead, we're not going to a Dracotail that requires a card from the hand. We're going to go into the Dragon Crown. And what did I say before the tournament began, how to use this card? You want to chain summon Mysterion in response to something that would trigger this. You don't really want to preempt this. It's when you know it will happen. How do you know it will happen? When a monster is summoning itself onto the field, or if a monster is summoning let's say a Femina is summoning a spellcaster, that is what would trigger this. And you're summoning a Magnum Hunt. So Magnum Hunt, we now get to target the Magnum Hunt. We get to banish all of your dragons. All the dragons get to get banished now. Be gone. Even our own. Whoops. That maybe was not so good, but we did get to banish theirs also. All right. Urgula add back during the end phase of the Magnum Hunt. Two-sided. As we Key 2 Dracotail, in response we have Flame 2 negates. Is this a good negate? You know, the Key 2, they don't have a monster on the field, it's just a search. I would probably lean more towards the Flame wanting to negate a Rahu that we don't know is in the hand, but this will likely lead into a Rahu eventually. Either way, we're going to Ash negate, so it didn't even matter. No negate for you, mate. We still have Horn, we still have Sting. Mysterion is losing 100 for each of your banished cards. We have the Lucius searching for the Pan. Let's now Rahu Dracotail, using from the deck the Pan and Urgula. This is where we have no idea what card's going to get popped. Whatever they choose on resolution, that will be it. Gulamel triggering to Reborn, Arthalion trigger to Reborn. Oh my Jesus. Big damage on the field are coming. Pan, and what if the opponents own Arthalion or Gulamel were to be reborn? We would use our Mysterion if we want to, remembering our own card would also get banished to banish it off the field. We're going to Horn, return our own Arthalion, ensuring that your Horn is not going to draw a card. Now, that Femina is dead unless we draw another monster. We're about to draw into a monster. Are you ready? This is it. It's on. It's freaking on. And what is King of the Swamp? King of the Swamp is Dark Magician. And this is a dragon. Doesn't that summon the ultimate monster? What is that? Where is it? Dragoon? Dark Magician plus a Dragon effect monster cannot be destroyed by card effects. Neither player can target this card with effects, and it can negate anything? Right? This is it. We have Dark Dragoon ready to get summoned. Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. When do we summon it? When is the play? And what is the out? This is it. We're doing it. Dragoon! Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. We could discard a card to negate anything. Now, there's a very important ruling with the Dragoon. How do you out this? By battle. But it gains attack if it negates something. It only gains attack if you negate, right? No. It gains attack only if you destroy the card that you're negating. What are you not destroying? If I Femina, do I gain 1,000 if you negate Femina? No, because Femina can't get destroyed. She's now in the graveyard. If there's a card in the graveyard activating and you Dragoon negate it, do you gain attack? No, because it's in the grave, you cannot destroy it. So it has to be in the original location where it activated on the field or in the hand in order to gain that 1,000. That's a very important detail. Well, the Mysterion being 27 due to 3 cards banished is ensuring that we cannot attack over Dragoon. Dragoon has another effect. You could destroy 1 monster your opponent controls if you do inflict damage. You could use this effect a number of times up to the number of normal monsters used as fusion material for this card, so none. Key 2 gets negated by the Ash. We're going to Rahu Dracotail, another King of the Swamp plus the Pan. As we trigger the Arthalion to return from engrave back the Lucius, Pan's going to non-target destroy a card in the field. Veiler's going to negate. The Dragoon has no card in hand to discard to negate. But even if we did, it would not be gaining that plus 1,000 boost, as we said. Is Dragoon going to win this duel or what? Let's Pan, which cannot destroy the Dragoon if it was triggering for a fusion summon, but the other effect is triggering to reborn the Frixel to then reborn the Malulu with the effect of the Frixel on summon to also now activate the Malulu to go into Arthalion. Arthalion on summon. We are going to be targeting our Ash Blossom as the Frixel triggers engrave plus the Lucius to set up back row cards. What is going on with Dragoon having nothing in hand? I mean, the Arthalion was getting chain link blocked if we even wanted to negate it. Now we have Ash back. And Arthalion, which is now in the graveyard, we could reborn it back if 2 monsters get sent to the grave to then very simply swing into Dragoon. I'd argue Dragoon's only good if it becomes 4,000. If you make that goal your main focus of ensuring that Dragoon does not become 4,000, you got to get to another 3,000 attack monster to swing into it before it becomes boosted, then you're fine. It's not even an issue. Now, this would be a bad idea if they had a card in hand. They would have had a card in hand if the Flame actually negated the Key to ensure that Dragoon could then become 4,000 attack by negating something else. So everything's working against Kawaki's favor. He cannot get Dragoon to 4K. And the Secretarian also makes it so Dragoon can't even activate. What? Can't be destroyed, can't be targeted, but can't even activate. And now the Arthalion engrave, that's the out. Arthalion into Dragoon before they get boosted. Very simply, wham bam, thank you ma'am. The Malulu is also a way to negate it. That's interesting. You could put the Malulu on a higher chain link from the Pan. So Malulu negates Dragoon, Pan then destroys Dragoon. There's multiple ways to actually out this. Oh boy, big field. Let's get to it, let's do it. Let's add back the Ash Blossom. Dragoon's so bad, LOL. I'm sure he's won a lot of games with it. We'll maybe see in the next duel if this one's over. 2,500 the face. The problem was he got Dragoon out and then Abamod wouldn't let him get a card in the hand. He kept on negating the traps. He just, with no way to even activate the effect of your 3,000 attack Dragoon, that's obviously not going to be good. Lucius on summon. We got the Femina activatable. Ash is ready. Let's speed this up. Lord, is everyone on Dracotail? I mean, this is game 2. So, you know, not everyone is on it, hopefully. Let's add back the Femina and our Lucius. Further link off into the Spear with Eyes of Blue, which is a dragon to go into the Hieratic Seal. As we key to Dracotail. So a good question is, did he have the Anaconda and he chose to not use it? He doesn't play Anaconda. So some people just don't believe it's worth it to play Anaconda. As we go into our Thalion. And, I mean, he's not even on Branded Fusion. Well, obviously, you don't play it if you don't play Branded Fusion. So, today, we've seen Magitsustail with Dracotail, branded with Dracotail, which is the most popular way. We saw Fiendsmith with Dracotail, and now there's a fourth version we've seen, which is Dragoon Dracotail. Guess what? You're negated forever. What? This Malulu negate is not just this turn. Now, it still has an effect. It will still summon a dragon from the deck. Oh boy, gotta be careful about that permanent Malulu negate. As we reborn back the Arthalion, well, if it's permanently negated, I'm just gonna link it off. I don't care about the tribute effect to summon a dragon during the next turn. Let's banish away the horn. Flower Guardians with Dracotail. Are you out of your damn mind? What do we have here? Femina is activatable. We do have Valor. We do have Little Knight. Triple Disruption. Let's go. Branded Fusion versus non-branded Fusion. Little Knight's going to banish away the Arthalion. This is a good way to ensure that Key 2 does not gain an additional effect of Fusion Summoning on resolution. Now, what's really unfair about this duel is we hard opened up our branded Fusion. Not cool. Lucius on summon, searching for the pan, and this is where something like the Genesis system, if it were just applied to Master Duel as a whole, would, I think in many ways, make the game a lot more balanced, because Branded Fusion should not be limited to 1 due to Dracotail. Non-Dracotail decks should have it at 2, maybe even 3, but Dracotail, I would say, should have it at freaking 0. There should be a point spread added to the other Dracotail cards, ensuring that Branded Fusion just could not be used with it. Let's Albion branded. Valor is going to negate the branded. Same thing with a card like Gold Sark I was talking about. Gold Sark got limited to 1 for Maliss, and then any other deck like Thunder Dragon now can't play it at 3. That's messed up. Let's Rahu. Okay, we're out of here. Damn. I wanted to see more with Dragoon. I was rooting for Dragoon. You got to the top 16 with Dragoon, so obviously there's something there. You know, I think his take on Dragoon probably is, bro, if I negate 1 card and I get to 4K, I win. That's it. I mean, Malulu is the only thing that could really probably out it. But beyond that, 4K after a single negate, that's going to be the main win condition of that. There is an issue with activation negating's not very good against Dracotail because they then get to use another copy of the card. So that is, I would say, one of the downsides. All right. Let's punk it up. Punk Seaman with Centurion. What the heck? Where is Plu? Is Chinese G, you're not Plu. Let's go. You know, I was talking about 4 different versions of Dracotail. We got a 5th version. We have Shadoll. Shadoll Dracotail is here. Shadoll it up with Window. Each player can only special summon once per turn while this is face up on the field. Okay, let's go. We're in big trouble here. Now, the Malulu cannot fuse into the window, thankfully. It has to be a Dracotail, but beyond that being a disruption, we have the Sting, Flame, Horn, and the Pan to pop a card. So negate a spell, return a monster back. Let's return that Nibiru back, forcing out the activation there. Very good. Now we can make our other plays. Within the battle phase, we're going to banish away the Hieratic Seal for the Druid Swarm. Malulu is like a Masquerena. Get them in the battle phase and then get them out. Very good use of the Druid Swarm there. Definitely a big deal. As we now Horn of the Closed Heaven. Well, I would like to Horn bounce you back, but you can't because there is no more Horn since it was used on Nibiru, but we have Gulamel to instead be our Horn. We have to directly chain Link block with Oath. If they activate again, Chain Link block with Called By. You gotta use Called By. You got to. He knows. He knows. You know, I know, he knows. Block the Gulamel. First activation, block it. Second activation, block it. You will not get rid of my Moon in the Closed Heaven. I will get Fiend Sloppin'. No, I won't, because you drew Ash. Are you shiting me? Requiem's now negated by the newly drawn Ash. What the heck? We perfectly chain link blocked you twice, and you still top deck an Ashe? Wow. Yeah, outplayed, son. Nothing personal, kid. Okay, well, let's hop into game 2. Hard to open up the Engraver, which a main benefit of Fiendsmith is just eating the opponent's hand traps. If they use Ashe, they use anything on it, that's good. They imperm on sequence, Ashe on the Requiem or the Pact, and then you perform your real plays afterward. And that's exactly what we have set up. We're ready. But now it's our window. So this was not supposed to happen. You're supposed to eat up hand traps. You weren't supposed to floodgate me, and I now have no out to the floodgate. And that was our one special summon. We can't teleport. We could normal summon with the, stand up is a special summon from the back row, so that's not even summonable. How disgusting. We don't even set teleport, which would be summoning an ogre if we wanted to. Ogre, which could then in response to something activating. Now, the good thing about Winda is she goes both ways. Both players can only special summon once. So right now, yeah, you can see it right there. I can't special summon anymore. I'm going to Ashe negate the Primera. And we still have our available single special summon. Now, if you have a Femina, or even the Urgula or the Pan, they could tribute summon over Winda. You could floodgate your opponent and then unfloodgate yourself if you want to. Let's add back the Ashe and Beast. Damn. What do y'all, what is your favorite? How about this? Your non-branded fusion way to play Dracotail. What do you think is the most fun or best way to play the deck? Magitsustail, Shadoll, non-branded fusion. We saw Fiendsmith earlier. What's the way? Dragon Maids? You what, mate? Let's take out Centurion. And we out. Damn. Got us good. Floodgates do be cringe. Allure of Darkness. I think it's correct to play Lunalight with minimal hand traps. I think more gas the better. If you play the deck like an Exodia deck, with your goal being as many hand traps as they use against you that you could still squeeze out double Liger for the auto win. And we thought we escaped these long, boring turn ones with Maliss getting banned on their ransom, Dracotail, very quick turn ones, but nope. The deck is here, didn't go anywhere. They got a lot of disruption, that's all you should know. Negate anything, negate a summon, negate an interaction with the deck, non-target banish. They have a Cryptor in here, non-target banish again. Negate the Gold Leo mate. Now, they do have the additional effect of Gold Leo to add from the graveyard. If the card itself's not negated, we're going to send Martin. Martin's going to be triggered when sent to the grave by card effect to search our deck for a spell. Gold Leo's going to trigger to add the Martin back to the hand here. Now the spell of choice will be the Lunalight Fusion, which could be a great negate for the Ignister. Of course, we're going to negate it, because if they have an extra deck monster in the field, we get to use our deck in addition for a material. Okay, the Black Sheep, adding a Polymerization. We already used up our normal summon. Let's polymerize it up. In response, we're going to GWC. Ghost Bell is going to negate the Maxi Chained in response to the Ghost Bell. Now, what were we trying to do? We were trying to summon a White Binder, which could banish our Engrave Cryptor and/or our White Rabbit. Oh, where's our White Rabbit at? And then the White Rabbit, if we had one, I guess we could have summoned that. We'd be able to set the MTP. So now we're in a scenario where the GWC got stopped. We don't have a Bystial. We don't have a March Hare. So our access to 2 non-target banishes, they're gone. They're kaput. How are we going to non-target banish a Cryptor or the MTP? We can't do it. Grab the Polymerization back. Got the Perfume, which could reborn from the grave or search our deck. So it's actually looking pretty good for Lunalight. Even though we're under the effect of Max C. What'd I say? Didn't have Bystial, didn't have March Hare. He drew into a Bystial. The dude freaking drew it. We're going to banish the Perfume before it's activatable to search the deck. Drew exactly what he needed to now turn on the Cryptor to non-target banish. How disgusting is that? Banish away the Chick and then scoops it up. Bro drew what he needed. And, you know, he could have drew into a March Hare, to be fair. Okay. Game 2. Wow, I love Max C. Ooh, we got the Fractal. Let's go. I don't think one Liger is going to be enough against Maliss. If we're hit by the Max C, we have to go all the way. We got to brute force it. I think we have to go for double Liger. Against Dracotail, one Liger, we could be fine. We have to very carefully ensure that they don't get anything bigger than 38. How do we do it? So Moonveil is sweating bullets, trying to figure out the best moment to activate Liger Dancer to destroy all special summon monsters. Does Yuki have a plan? And if he has that plan, he's got to make that plan under max freaking C. So who has more pressure? Yuki or Moonveil? Who's feeling worse as we now top deck into our very own Impulse? Can Yuki under max C and against an Impulse out the Liger non-target field wipe? Only special summon monsters will get destroyed. Impulse negating the banished Dormouse attempting to come back. Not today. Magnum Hut, banish the March Hare. I'm going to stand for this. March Hare, add back to the hand here. Special summon, banishing the White Rabbit. We now have an Ash Blossom activatable. The other Impulse obviously no good. As we link it up into Cryptor. Cryptor's the out to a Liger Dancer, but it has to be banished to then come back. At the moment, it's obviously not big enough. But what if we just wait for it to come back? Well, let's pause this. Liger does what? It destroys. What does Wicked do? Wicked says it cannot be destroyed, and also Cyberse monsters it points to cannot be destroyed. This is the out to Liger. But we're not done yet. We got to do more. Further, going to the Access Code Talker. Access Code Talker outs the Liger because it cannot be destroyed by card effects. We are going to be banishing the Cryptor. Woo! That's it. We have outs to not one Liger, but two. Two Ligers on the field would get outed by a Wicked plus an Access Code Talker and a Cryptor, just like that. So if you want to beat Lunalight because you're losing to it with your Dracotail, you could play Maliss, which not only beats Lunalight, but it also beats Dracotail. There you go. Yuki with the plan. Wipe the field, everything but the Access Code Talker. Pull up. What? We don't need Destruction Protection anymore, so we're going into a Splash Mage? What the heck is Yuki cooking? Is he out of his mind? Link Decoder, 14 cards left in the deck. Has he identified 13 more special summons to deck him out? There's no way. Can he do it? Oh, okay. Allied Code Talker is going to be reborning multiple monsters from the grave. That's only going to result in one draw, not multiple per one summoned. You know, were we trying to deck him out then gave up? What was up with that? That was kind of interesting. Okay, sure. We gave him an additional, what, 3, 4, 5 more draws? And now we don't have Disruption on the field where otherwise we would have? Let's Lunalight Masquerade. Now, what we're hoping for is the timer. He could time out. With this many options, are we going to be running out of plays? Let's Masquerade trigger, which will allow us to Pommerize using the graveyard. We're going to use the Chick. Chick is going to ensure that you cannot activate within the battle phase. That's going to be a big one. Perfume, come to me. Chick is going to be sending for the extra deck the Leo Dancer. Imperm is going to ensure that Chick cannot be used as a Leo Dancer, but the Masquerade ensured that Polymerization could still use the graveyard. I would say that wasn't very good. What the Pendulum Summon? Pendulum summoning our whole hand out onto the field here. triggering the gold Leo to discard, adding an impermanence here. That was the effect of the Emerald Bird. We're now gold Leoing, adding the black sheep to then discard the Fool Loss. Perfume Dancer, return back the Lunalight Wolf as we now have the Fire Fist Tiger King going into a Little Knight. Little Knight is not activated on summon as we do have the Lunalight Wolf. We're now going to Ball Drake, banish away the engraved Leo Dancer. We only have one Leo Dancer engraved, so we do need it to summon the Liger. What do we do? Let's think about this. The Imperm on Chick was assumed to be a bad idea, but it is turn 3. And Leo Dancer's banished. Leo Dancer's banished. If we look at the extra deck, we don't have any other Leo Dancers. We have 2 Ligers in the extra deck, which require a Leo Dancer. We can't summon Liger in any way whatsoever, right? That's it. We have completely denied. What? Wow. We gave him 17 cards for Max C in the hand, and then we efficiently denied him from the material of Leo Dancer, allowing him to summon Liger. In freaking sane. Good job to Masayuki. Barrel setting up our Lordy Load. Barrel does compete with the normal summon, the man. You normally play 3 barrel, 1 man. And oh boy, what do we have? We have Impulse negate a special summon. We could non-target negate a card in the field with the Swamp Deity. We could Skill Drain negate monsters. We could Drill Beam negate anything. Quadra Disruption. Now, how does Skill Drain and the Swamp Deity work? Well, wouldn't that negate the Swamp Deity because its effect as a monster trying to negate something, which would maybe be a spell or trap card since the Skill Drain's negating a monster? No, it still goes through. It still will freaking negate because it's not part of the monster effect. It actually is effectless to the point that it enables a Drill Beam if you needed to. And how does Skill Drain work against Liger? Liger's unaffected by Skill Drain. Yes. And no. If Skill Drain's flipped up first, then you summon a Liger, the Liger's negated. And then vice versa, if it switches, Liger comes up, then you flip up the Skill Drain, the Liger's unaffected by the Skill Drain. And since it's already face up, how do we out this? If it's already there, it's already negating us, what do? You would need something that can like tribute itself or on summon try to deal with it and then jump off the field. So if you were Little Knighting to banish it, then you have to chain something to then get Little Knight off the field. What could that even be? If we're trying to map out on the fly, how do we out the Skill Drain? Because initially I'm thinking we have no out. There's no way. Can't do it. Well. Some people think that you could use Impermanence on Skill Drain. If the Skill Drain's already face up and resolved, you cannot Imperm. Imperm has to be able to negate a monster, and if the monster's already negated, you can't Imperm. Thus, no negate on Skill Drain. I think it's here for good. So it does not mean we lose. It means we have to go into beatdown mode. We're just vanilla, big, furry bodies, beat down Fictinium, but then we have to do it through their other forms of disruption. Couldn't do it. Got him. Let's go to game 2. If Liger hits the field first, then we switch it up. What is Fictinium's out to a Liger already on the field? Similarly to Lunalight having no out to Skill Drain, I don't think Fictinium has an out to Liger. That could be the end for him. Let's speed this up. We do have Soul Drain, which would prevent the activations of monsters in Grave, which actually we have Lunalight wanting to activate in Graveyard quite a bit, even though this is going to be for Dracotail. I don't see a Liger on the field. What? Now, the Heavy Polymerization will be a way to get Liger on the field. As long as the opponent has a monster on the field, we could then use the extra deck as part of our Fusion Summon. We are going to be sending the Trumpeteer. Lordy Load attempting to summon the Trumpeteer from the deck or graveyard. We are going to Ash, negate, not today, mate. Again, Fictinium, where your man at? No man, manless. We're going to use the Apophis Serpent to set the Swamp Deity, which will be able to negate anything. We have Drill Beam, which is activatable. And we do have the Soul Drain that is, and the Dominator to negate an activation of a monster effect in the field. We're going to Swamp Deity to negate the Masquerade. The Foolish Burial effect? No Foolish Burial for you. Uh-oh, we got 2 bodies. We're gonna Drill Beam, negate, and banish. Well, this card's not a hard once per turn. I could activate another one. And then we get to cheap out our Liger. Just like that. Send the Perfume and the Leo Dancer, burn for 5,500, unaffected 3,800, with no way to stop it. And our monsters are special summoned. Destroy, open field, double 38, not enough for game mate. Dominate the Gold Leo. Silverhound is going to negate the negate. Got him. Well. All right. Skill Drain versus the Liger. Whoever gets the first one out's gonna win. Goes in against an all dark deck, right? That's nothing. It's all dark. Yeah. All right. Barrel, Drill Beam, flip up the Skill Drain. Starling has no outs, and then what? Uh-oh. How does this work here? The Drill Beam is activated since we have the Barrel. Okay. We have the Masquerade. Send the Martin from the deck. Martin's going to trigger to further search for the Lunalight Fusion. Let's activate the Perfume to Reborn from Engrave. And now we have the Perfume discarding to search our deck for a Lunalight. Searching for a Gold Leo. Gold Leo on summon. We're going to Imperm negate. We're holding on to the Skill Drain. Goes in is just trash. Goes in can be used with the Swamp Deity to give us an additional negate. Lunalight Fusion mates, fusing up into a Saber Dancer, 3,000 attack. Silverhound, how does Silverhound work? Let's read the Silverhound. Silverhound spell trap card or effect is activated on the field. You can banish this card and 1 Lunalight to negate the activation. There has to be a Lunalight Fusion in the grave, so it's not too late to flip up the Skill Drain, which will make us lose 1,000 life. Now, Decade, why is he not flipping up Skill Drain early? It's because of his Drill Beam. Drill Beam cannot banish a monster if we already have Skill Drain face up. So we have to ensure that the Drill Beam will be good while also ensuring that he does not get a fusion into the graveyard. Well, what the Chick do? The Chick will by cost get a fusion in the grave, which will make the Silverhound activatable to negate Skill Drain or negate Drill Beam. That's it. That was it. That was our last moment. We would had to... I think when Chick hit the field, we would have to, if we didn't want the Hound to negate us, we'd have to flip Skill Drain, or you could Drill Beam and then on resolution activate Skill Drain, and that probably would be our best play. Oh crap, let me Skill Drain. Nope, too late. Not negate the effect, negate the activate. Activation negated. Now, I'm not saying this is the case, but we possibly could have thought that Chick would send a fusion by effect, not by cost. We're going to Martin, return back, 3,600 to the face. Oh my Jesus. Now, it's not lethal, so we get to hold on to the Skill Drain. But otherwise, if we wanted, I should say the Drill Beam, that is. But if we wanted to Drill Beam before the Skill Drain, as I said earlier, that's what you would need to do. Reveal, it's not over. I don't see a Liger on the field. Now, why didn't we banish this, and why was my play earlier actually illegal? You can't Skill Drain and Drill Beam and all that stuff either or, because actually the Saber Dancer can't be targeted. Untargetable card effects. So even that great play of Drill Beam and then Skill Drain afterward, no good. Even if you negate the effect, if you negate the effect, then you can't even Drill Beam it. Either or. Saber Dancer tanks the Drill Beam. Time Thief Redoer. Okay. We could grab a trap off the top of the deck, or Zeus. Non-target, send the Saber and our own back row to the grave. I mean, this is forcing the Zeus. We can't Drill Beam. So we lose our own Drill Beam. Wipe the field. Damn. And then we're going to max C right now. As he Lunalight Perfumes, Reborn back onto the field. He's got double heavy poly, yeah, but you have to use 3 monsters, and you could use 1 per monster the opponent controls using your extra deck. So right now, you know, ideally we have 3 monsters, and then they have their 1 body. So we need another one. There you go. Now it would be activatable. Now we can heavy poly. Now to having that, we could use 1, 2, 3, 4 for our Liger Dancer. That's it. We needed the skill drain face up, but the skill drain being face up would have we'd be at 1,000 life, right? The scary thing about skill drain is we had no monsters to block the Saber Dancer. We couldn't drill beam the Saber Dancer, and the skill drain being flipped up early would ensure we can't banish any other monster with the drill beam. There was just a confliction with both cards. Barrel, I don't know what we could do here. What can we do? Tell me. The man does what? Does the man have a plan? I don't think so. They have some weird wonkiness here. Let's type in Odeon. I think the Anubis or the Circuit does something. At the start of the damage step, you could destroy a monster that this battle's into. Obviously, that wouldn't work, but this card gains attack equal to half of the destroyed monster's original attack. So the idea is the Scorpion could get so big that you could then attack into the Liger Dancer, right? Drill Beam, banish away our own monster here. But then he's got the double attack. Block the attack. Let's go. Lunalight could maybe time out. They could disconnect, right? You know, there's a chance that we could win outside of normal game mechanics. Otherwise, we can't do anything. We're gonna want to summon this in defense. We could recycle our cards. Oh, no, we can't because it's now going to get wiped out. We are going to be summoning our Anubis. Does this do anything that could help us with the Liger Dancer? No, it does not. You know what I think Victinium may do at the end of this tournament? I think he might put it in a goddess, right? Victinium, what do you think? Can you squeeze in one goddess? Wipe out the Anubis. Wipe out the Trumpeteer. It's gonna run out of fusions to Raigeki with. There's another win condition, a legitimate one. And that is to deck out Lunalight. Now, the problem is, even if they run out of Raigekis for special summon monsters, they still get to attack twice every single turn. So you have to survive a double attack for 23, 22 more turns, and then we would win. Okay, 22 turns of double attacking. Victinium, are you up for it? Let's do it. Tiger is gonna reborn back the Silver Hound. Double. The man can't be destroyed by battle, right? How does the man work? While you control a Temple of the Kings, this card and Apophis monsters cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. Victinium, you can't be destroyed. Just deck them out. Right? Oh, that pierces, actually. If a Lunalight you control attacks the man gets pierced. Yup. The piercing battle damage was here. If we don't have an out for the Lunalight Wolf. Now, I mean, if we have an out for the Wolf, then the man doesn't get pierced. And this is only piercing while it's on the field as a monster.